Why buy a Rolex? In today's video, I'm going to share with you why you should consider buying a Rolex if that's what your end goal is. I'm going to tell you the story behind why I bought my first Rolex, but I'm also going to share a bigger message with you that I think is going to resonate with every single person watching this video. It's bigger than watches. And there's a story behind each of these watches in this box. I'm going to share all of that with you on today's video. Now, before I jump into all of this, my name is Jamel Gibbs. I consider myself to be the family-oriented entrepreneur. And what we do on this channel is we help real estate investors or aspiring real estate investors create time and freedom so that they can be able to take that time and freedom to spend with their family or on things that they love to do, so that they're not working a 9 to 5, so that they're not wasting their life working for somebody else just to be able to pay some bills. We want to create time and freedom through passive income streams to be able to live the fulfilled life that we want to live on purpose. All right. So with that being said, let me tell you the story about how I was able to get my first Rolex watch. But I'm going to talk about each of the stories behind every single watch in these boxes. There's 3 other watches in addition to my first Rolex. Obviously, I have other watches at home, but I wanted to share the story behind these 4 watches, which played a significant role in the way I invest in real estate today. Now, before I jump into all of this, go ahead and hit that like button so it can help with the YouTube algorithm. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos just like this that's going to help you on your journey from where you are right now to where you want to go in your real estate investing career. Now let's get into talking about these watches. The reason I wanted a Rolex in the first place is because when I graduated high school back in 1999, I was offered a position as a cold caller on Wall Street. Now, while I was working there, spot trading currencies for a spot trading currency firm, there were guys who were brokers, 19, 20, 21 years old, all wearing Rolexes. But these weren't just any type of Rolexes. These were Rolexes that had diamonds in them. The only other people I ever saw with iced out Rolexes back then were rappers, Jay-Z and other rappers who came up under that time frame. So obviously, me being 18, 19 years old back then, I wanted exactly what I saw. I was influenced by that. So that's the story behind why I wanted my first Rolex. And I didn't get my first Rolex until years later when I matured. And we'll talk about the story behind each of these watches, which led into the decision to get my first Rolex. So let's jump into this. So the first watch that I bought back then was a Techno Marine. Now, this watch was hot back then, right? If you come from that era or you were alive during that era, you know how hot this type of watch was. Now, I originally bought it, had red bands, I had blue bands. You were able to change the bands out. But the reason I bought it is because it had the diamonds in it. Now, obviously, at one point, it had a lot more diamonds, right? But it wasn't the Rolex. It was the closest thing that I could get to the Rolex without actually having the Rolex. So I ended up buying it. I started making a little bit of money. I'm 19, 20 years old back then. And I had $4,000 to my name. I took $2,500 of that $4,000 and I bought this depreciating asset. Today, I can't even get the $2,500 back that I initially put into this particular watch. But it was the first thing that I wore that gave me the confidence that I needed in order to continue pushing forward in my real estate investing business. This is after Wall Street. So the question is, was this a good investment for me back then? If we're talking in terms of me building confidence in order to continue to talk the talk and feel like I'm walking the walk, then this watch gave me the confidence that I needed. Although it wasn't what the end goal was. It was a baby step toward the end goal. But if we're talking on a financial aspect, this watch was a terrible investment. I should have done other things with the money. I'm going to share what those other things are later on in this video. Keep watching. I'd be happy to get $100 for this $2,500 investment. It was a terrible investment. And a lot of young people, 19, 20 years old, make the same mistakes. Terrible investment, but it has sentimental value because it was my first watch. I wore this watch for years. And during the course of those years, I built up more and more confidence because I knew what the end goal was, which led me into my second watch. Now, this is around 2007, 2008. I started making a lot of money in real estate, but I didn't want to drop another $2,500 on a watch. So I went and I spent $100 at a shopping mall back in Reading, Pennsylvania, and I bought this G-Shock. Now, today I could probably still get, 50 to maybe $100 for this G-Shock watch. So everything I have into it, I could probably get back, probably less, chances are. But the reason I bought this is because I liked the way it looked and felt at that time. And at the end of the day, it was a really hot watch. In fact, I was just talking to my camera guy, Rondell, and he was telling me he was just looking at G-Shocks the other day, right? But does this watch hold any real weight? No. What it did do is allow me to feel like I was doing something. I felt like I was with the cool kids back then because I had on a G-Shock watch. And again, what did that do? It gave me the confidence to keep going. So the moral of the story between these first two watches is, although it may not be what the end goal is for the watch that you actually want, get something that's going to help you along the way, right? Get something that's going to provide you with that confidence to keep moving forward. Although you may not get your money back out of it, it will have that sentimental value. And these are just baby steps towards the end goal. All right, which leads me into some years later. Now, at this time, I'm making really good money in real estate, but I really didn't want to invest a whole lot of money into something what I consider to be a depreciating asset. So I went out and I purchased what I feel like was my first luxury watch, and that's a Movado, right? I spent $700 on this watch, which is ironically is less than the $2,500 I spent on the first watch. But guess what? I can actually sell this watch today and get at least half of my money back. I can put this online right now and sell it for $300, maybe $400. Get it cleaned up a little bit. Somebody will purchase this watch for $300 to $400. So I didn't take a total loss on this watch. But again, when I first bought this watch, I felt like I was doing something. Now this is only a Movado. It's still not the Rolex. But I felt like my confidence level went through the roof when I bought this watch. Okay, it's kind of like driving a Toyota and then moving into a luxury car, like a BMW or something like that. That's the kind of feel that I had when I bought this watch. And this watch carried me for some time until finally I got the watch that I really wanted. So was this watch a good investment? Again, if we're speaking in terms of building confidence, being able to talk the talk, walk the walk just a little bit, still being a luxury, conservative watch. Again, when I was down on Wall Street, others had the Movados as well. So to me, this was a big step in my watch game. It wasn't a terrible investment because I can still get some of my money back, but it wasn't the watch. And I still will take a hit on this watch. So it wasn't a good investment in my opinion. And that led me to my first Rolex watch that I've ever bought. This is the first Rolex that I've ever owned. Now, obviously, I have other watches these days, but this is my everyday watch. This is the watch that reminds me of where I came from, everything that I've strived for over the years. Not only does this have sentimental value, this is the first watch that I felt like I really did something for, I did something with. Not only did it provide me with the confidence once I put this watch on, but also it turns out that this watch was a good investment. So the question is, should you go out there and buy a Rolex? Well, to answer that and to keep it really simple, at the end of the day, if you feel that you want to own a Rolex, then go out and strive for the Rolex. That's something that's going to keep pushing you towards your goal as a real estate investor. But this watch played a different type of role for me. Here's why. This watch not only provided me with the confidence, the sentimental value like these other watches, but it also provided me with an opportunity for appreciation in a watch. So if you're gonna go out there and buy a Rolex, what I recommend you do is buy something that's limited edition and will eventually go up in value once they stop producing the watch. When I bought this watch, I spent several $1,000s, like close to tens of thousands of dollars for this watch. But today, I looked at the value of the watch and it's worth $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 more than what I actually paid for it. Was this a good investment? Well, if in terms of sentimental value, it was a great investment. My confidence skyrocketed after buying this watch. If we're speaking in terms of financial investment, this watch turns out to be a great investment because I can sell it for more money than what I actually purchased it for. But looking at it from another angle, should I have taken, let's say, $8,000, $10,000 and invested into this watch right away? The answer is probably not. It didn't provide me with the most important thing that creates time and freedom that I can be able to spend with my family. Do you know what that one thing is? Cash flow, passive income. In addition to that, I can't take a depreciating tax hit on this. And there's only one investment that I know of, and it's not Bitcoin. It's not buying luxury cars. It's not investing in the watches. There's only one investment that I know of that will allow you the appreciation, just like this watch gave, the depreciation. So that means you get tax write-offs and you can make a profit on your tax write-offs, cash flow, and other income generating opportunities from a single investment, rental real estate. That's the only investment that you can ever rely on that's going to provide you with all of these income opportunities. Passive income, which is cash flow, appreciation, depreciation, and so many other ways to benefit financially in real estate. The $10,000 that I spent investing into this watch should have gone on a rental property, and then the income from that rental property should have paid for this watch. I did it backwards. And that's why I'm teaching you in this video what not to do from the mistakes that I've made so that you can go out there and make a wiser decision. Then you can buy 5, 10 of these things and somebody else can pay for it. The whole point is, if you're gonna spend $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on a watch, make sure that you're not actually paying for it. Take the $10,000, the $15,000, or the $20,000, go out there and buy something that's gonna generate passive income. Again, the number one investment to do that is rental real estate. So go out and buy either a single family property or multi-unit property and have that asset pay for the watch. Because then if you spend the $10,000 on the watch, you're still going to get another $10,000 the next month. So it's like hitting the lottery every single month. On the flip side of that, this is a twofold reason as to why to use passive income to purchase what I consider to be semi-assets like a Rolex. I can take my passive income from my rental real estate, and I could have gone out a long time ago and took $2,500 and invested into real estate rather than buying this, which depreciated all the way down to zero. Or this G-Shock watch, even though it was only $100, I could have taken the passive income to purchase this. Or this Movado, even though I'm gonna get half of my money back if I decided to sell it, I could have taken the passive income to purchase this. These are depreciating assets. This was a terrible investment. $2,500 down the drain could have bought me rental real estate back then, which would be worth 5, maybe 7 times more 20 years later, okay? Buying rental real estate is the play. Buying junk is not the play. So rather than taking your passive income and buying stuff that's gonna continue losing value, like this watch, you can take your passive income and buy something that will appreciate in value, right? And get more money back. So that's a double whammy right there financially, right? I don't know if you would call that a whammy, but you're taking your passive income, so you're not losing any money. You're investing into watches and luxury cars and other things, or exotic cars rather, that's gonna hold its value and allow you to get all your money back. So really all you're doing is moving money from one place to another and getting to enjoy the sentimental value of wearing your money on your wrist. That's what the play is. That's when you should buy, or why you should buy, your first exotic watch, your first exotic car, or whatever you want to spend money on. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know again what your first watch was. What did you get out of this entire video? What was the main key point that you picked up from this video? Share this video with your family and friends. This is a family-oriented channel. I'm the family-oriented entrepreneur. And my true goal for all of you watching this video is to show you how to go from where you are right now to where you want to go by creating passive income, which will leave you the time and freedom to live the life according to your terms. All right, so again, like this video, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.